I'm Sharon. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Now that the dust has settled, I think it's time to consider more seriously what the new online grades 1 to 5 exams, music theory exams for the ABRSM grades will now involve. And there's a lot of reading to be processed. And I don't pretend to be the authority on it at all. However, just have had a quick look at what it entails, and also I think the grade 8 theory that we've just sat will give us an idea of what we can expect here. So by all means, do go to the ABRSM website and do make sure that you read every bit of information that they give you. And I will just give you the gist of how we found it with the grade 8 theory that was just sat as an adapted special exam for year 13s only. And I would just like to take this opportunity to absolutely congratulate my 3 year 13 pupils. So well done to you, Tom, Margie-Ann and Olivia. Absolutely well done. They've passed their grade 8 theory in the most awkward circumstances imaginable, and it's been very, very stressful for them. It's been very, very stressful for us all actually, and I'm sure it's been very, very stressful for ABRSM too. However, they have done such a fab job. During lockdown, they have studied and studied and studied. I mean, in the last couple of months they were doing 2 past exam papers a week. That's an awful lot of work, that's an awful lot of study. And then the exam itself was very, very stressful, with lots of changes happening literally just days before the exam. You know, things had to be just sort of refined to make sure that the academic integrity was still intact. And well done to the parents as well, but it was all worthwhile. And so now, after all of that hard work, they all passed, so they got their grade 8 theory forever now. So well done guys, you've done such a great job, and you've kept a really, really great spirit. You bear in mind, this is with no actual face-to-face lessons at all, because we've been in lockdown. So they've done an absolutely super job, and it's really helped us all because they've actually paved the way, and in a sense they piloted the pilot that is coming very soon for the grades 1 to 5 theory as well. So I'll just tell you how we found it, and I think this is kind of what you will expect for the grades 1 to 5 online exam. So of course it's going to be taken remotely in your home or wherever you can sort of set up a computer workstation for your little exam room. You will need to have like an invigilator, like a responsible adult who will take control of the situation and oversee the situation. And so that's what happened in the grade 8 exam, and I'm pretty certain that is what I've understood will happen here. You need to make sure you've got a computer or, you know, a laptop that will have either an integral camera, or you'll have to have a webcam situated as well, because you need to film yourself actually taking the exam just to prove that there is no cheating going on, so that all of that is documented and you are being overseen, as it were. And that sounds like quite a hefty thing, and that was a big stress because it was suddenly thrust upon us within literally 4 days before the exam was due, and so it was just getting the software prepped. However, once it was in place, it did work fine, because obviously you can't record the exam and then send it, because a video file is a massive file. And bear in mind, the grade 8 exam is 3 hours long. Grade 5, the hours long. Even grade 1 is an hour and a half. That is a massive, massive long file. So there's no way you could ever email that big a file. And so what they do, you download some software and you record it, and it's sort of stored remotely in a sort of a vetted server. So all safeguarding issues are covered, because it's a sort of an academic bespoke recording body. something like that. And so, you know, all safeguarding issues, there's nothing untoward going on. And I guess what they will do is they will then flip through some of those and moderate. I don't suppose they'll watch absolutely every single one. I don't think so. But they will moderate and just spot check that no one's cheating, no one's sort of raffling through a book and finding what's going on. What happened as well was they had to sort of scan the room first to show that there's nothing on the walls and you've not got any devices or books or anything next to you. So all of these procedures are in place to retain academic integrity, to prove that you're not cheating, and then that then means your qualification is worthwhile. So that's the first thing. The difference now between the adapted advanced theory exam and the grades 1 to 5 is that all of your answers will be on screen, so you won't be using pen and paper. I think a lot of it will be sort of multiple choice or sort of ticking the correct answer, ticking the box. I think there might be just one question on grade 5 or grades 4 and 5. You'd have to see, you know, there will be practice papers that you can download online and you can have little practices of it, where you might just have to click and place certain notes, but you won't be using pen and paper. However, I do think that it would be okay, read the documentation, you know, just check what ABRSM do stipulate, but I'm certain that it would be okay if you flash a piece of scrap paper that is plain and a pencil, and then you can do a bit of thinking, so long as you've not taken anything into the exam room, scribbling a few notes and getting your scrap paper will be okay. I am pretty certain that is an absolute necessity. So long as you've not taken anything in, any sort of working out that you do in the room is fine, and that's sort of vetted as being okay. And so the only other thing that I will say is, obviously the details will unfold, but ABRSM will be absolutely spot on in keeping you up to date on what to do. And I know that on the day of the exam there was a helpline, so that if somebody was in trouble you could just ring and check that everything was going okay. So there will be support there. You just need to download the software for the recording. I think the exam paper is emailed to you 30 minutes before the exam time. So maybe now it's not going to be a paper but it's all digital. Maybe that will change slightly, but you know, you will access that paper. You don't download it, as it were. And I think the other thing that I want to say is, obviously these are sort of changing times, and you know, with lockdown and everything, we've had a lot of change anyway, and now this change comes upon us, and it's very, very stressful to consider all of these different approaches to music theory. The thing is though, music is always music, and those who want to learn, those who want to study will do it. You know, my A-level pupils have proved that, you know, despite all of the circumstances, they've pushed on through, and, you know, they've made the systems work to their own advantage. And I think as well, the other thing to think about, and just to bear in mind, and do hold on to the fact that ABRSM is a well-recognised body of musical syllabus, and it will retain that integrity throughout the changes. It's changed so many times over the years anyway. I mean, every few years the instrumental syllabus changes. I know that the piano syllabus that is now is a very, very different piano syllabus to the one that I took, say when I took my grade 8. It's changed vastly over the years, and that doesn't mean it's changed for the worse. You know, some things I agree with more than others, but I'm not an ABRSM examiner, so my opinion may not be fully informed. However, I do know that it's retained its integrity throughout all of these changes. And I know that sometimes it's easy to think, well, you know, it's downgraded and the exams are just getting easier. I don't know if that's true. Maybe sometimes it is true a little bit, in part, in certain parts. But I know that, say for example, this current, well, like the remaining old syllabus, not the brand new one that's just come out for the piano exams, had a grade 1 piece in it that was called Minuet in, I think it was a Minuet in C. I think that's what it was. It was one of the A pieces. It was based upon lots of C chord and arpeggio things being built up. And that was a current piece this time. And I know for a fact that that was on the grade 1 syllabus about 40, 50 years ago. And also on the same exam syllabus, the B piece, the Echo, that was on the same grade 1 syllabus, perhaps 15 years ago, you know, so they do bring them round again. So it's not suddenly dropped off the syllabus and grade 1's got loads easier. Those pieces have retained their standard, you know, different criteria have changed, but ABRSM and all of the exam boards that are widely recognised, they have their status, they have their standing, and these changes won't change that. Your exam will still be valuable, it will still be worth something, it's still a valid effort, even though the way that you are taking the exam is changing. And I think, again, you know, my dear Year 13 pupils, they have really proved that no matter what the odds, no matter what the changes, if you're going to study, if you're going to get your work done, if you're going to do your music, despite all of these changes, these systems are still there to progress you through. You need to do your grade 5 theory if you want to move on to grade 6 practical. And so this is the situation that we are in. We may not like to be in this situation. However, don't worry. ABRSM are there to help you. I'm not the authority, they are. Do contact them, you can email them, and if you do take the exam on the day, there will be support to help you. So don't worry, you know, it's a change, but it's okay, we've got this. Thanks for listening, best wishes for your studies. Bye.